Hey everyone, this is Specs S7. I wanted to make a tutorial video here for setting up OBS Studio with anybody that uses an AMD graphics card. There's a lot of NVIDIA tutorials out here. Like when I go and look it up here through YouTube, this is current as of 3/30/2017. This is actually 5 months old. See this one here, 6 months old, and it actually doesn't really help out much. Um, Whenever I go to a lot of these videos trying to figure out what to record, how to record, there is a lot of uh, NVIDIA only things. And when you use AMD, if we click a setting, it doesn't show us that same thing. So I wanted to take some time out of my afternoon here and kind of show you guys what's going on. Right now I'm using the current edition, which is 18.0.1 for Windows 10. I have it open in my second monitor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and just show you some settings that you can use so you're able to record at 1080, 60 FPS. I record different games, such as like The Witcher 3. I'm doing Mass Effect Andromeda right now, and those are games that you really want the best quality recording stuff. This isn't going to be for streaming. It's purely going to be for your recording material, stuff that you'll be uploading, be it to YouTube or whatever it is. And even they have some pretty strict guidelines. So let me open up the settings over here, put this window down, go settings, drag it onto the screen. All right, so general, there's really nothing here that's general that needs to be messed with if you're wanting to record. What we're going to do is go to output, and when you go to output, there's a tab here that says advanced. Normally it'll say like normal or something like that, but I always use this. You can set up, there are 3 channels for audio, which are going to be the best ones that you want to do, depending on your main audio track, like whatever you're recording. YouTube, unless you're using a program that edits your stuff, YouTube will only accept audio track 1. I found that out the hard way when I was actually doing Witcher gameplay and had a couple of tracks going. I had my microphone on track 1, I had my game audio on track 2, and I uploaded the video and it was complete silence. So be sure whatever you're recording is on the main track, audio track 1. For recording format, MP4 seems to be the best choice. It's the easiest to edit. Like I use Sony Vegas, and it tends to be the better setup. So what we're going to do for encoder, this is all grayed out because I'm recording at this moment, but your encoder here is going to be the H.264 encoder, the AMD Advanced Media Framework. If you're using an AMD graphics card, this is going to be what we see. Everyone else will get like that NVIDIA NVSync or whatever it is, and then when they go to the preset options, which are down here, this is not the same for an NVIDIA and AMD. It's completely different, which made things very confusing when I was trying to figure out what's going to work best. And at the end of this video, I will attach some gameplay that I had recorded the other day with these particular settings that are on right now. So presets, I left it completely alone, didn't mess with this. I went for balanced. I was using quality for a while, but what I was finding out with the quality was that there was lag. Whenever I had used it, my video would lag. Even if on my game screen it was running completely smooth, there was no problem whatsoever. My computer wasn't starting, my game wasn't, but whatever reason, OBS on the side, my little frames per second were dropping down from 60 to like 20 and 30. I'm like, what is this nonsense? So I put it to balance, seems fine. Profile, I set up for high. Everyone's computer is different, but I'm assuming if you're looking at this, you're not running it on a weaker computer. So you run high profile, seems to work just fine. For the control method, this here was actually something that I had experimented with for a while. I used CBR and I've used CQP, but the thing is finding out the right bit rate for your computer was the hardest part. And again, when I'd watched the NVIDIA ones, a lot of these people, this wasn't really an option. It shows different stuff than what it does for AMD. So I will go with variable bitrate, the peak constraint. For me, on my PC, I found out after some tweaking that 35,000 peak and 18,500 target worked really, really well. When I put VBR, it already did the 2, so I didn't even touch and mess with that. But these two here seem to work really well. I tried other settings. I can attach them at the end of this video as well to kind of show the difference. And there was lag in my video, which for me, that's a downer. I mean, you're playing a game or you're recording gameplay, you don't want lag. That hurts. That hurts a lot. So that is everything set up here for your recording tab. For audio, it really is up to you. I like my higher quality sound. Most people would do the 160, 190. I'll do 320 just because I guess it's my preference. Going to audio here though, sample rate, you're going to put whatever your computer is set for. If it's 44 or 41, you'll have to find out in your settings. I run 48. Channels, for me, it's stereo or mono. Obviously, you want stereo, so you get sound in both speakers, and that's not like old school where you only have one side speaker. Your desktop audio device, I have it set for default. I didn't even mess with that, just left it alone. Same thing with the Audio 2 device, I left it disabled. My microphone is hooked up for audio, obviously right there. That's, you know, whatever you have, you can turn it off your default, but that's that. For video, this here, obviously, see, I'm recording, so it's not letting me change any of the video settings. If you want to record at 1080, there's options here to change. Your resolution, 1080, is going to be your 720 or whatever it is. Like my monitor is a 1920 by 1080. So this is what I run. I had ran also a couple of different sets up with the samplers. There's this Lacanzos, I think that's how you say it. 32 samples seems to work the best, the smoothest, and I have the least amount of problems with this one. I put it to one of the other two I can't click right now, and I recorded 2 different videos using those settings, and the video would be choppy and it would lag, even though, like I said, my gameplay isn't lagging at all, but my video is, and that's what's important, is we want a good video quality. 60 FPS, obviously you can set it for 30. It really depends on what you want to do. For me, I wanted a 60 FPS video, so I made 60 FPS. Hotkeys I just did for whenever I'm in my gameplay, so I don't have to reach over to my second monitor and make my window shrink and get larger. F10 and F11 in most of my games aren't used for anything, so that's what I ended up using as a kind of a start and stop point. Advanced, the process priority. This here, I left it normal because my understanding is this will then start to affect your game. This will also affect, you know, depending on what your CPU does and your RAM. But, so I left that alone. Renderer, Direct 3D 11, if you have this option, this is pretty much the only option. I've tried using the OpenGL when I was recording The Witcher, and it ended up making it more particleized, pixelated, and the video seemed to have lots of choppiness to it, which was very unfortunate, seeing as it was at the time when I recorded that, it wasn't something I could just go back through and beat all over again without loading a prior save. That was something I did, you know, like 3 hours ago or a few days ago. It was just all bad news. Video adapter I left alone. If you have something here, I'm not sure what you're going to put for it. I just leave it blank for the setup for this tutorial. Color format, the NV12 seems to work the best with the YUV color space being at 709. I know there's other options, but this is what works really well. And for your color range, you can do full or you can do the partial one. I like the full. When I record my videos, it'll give me a lot of nice rich colors, and that's what's really, really important to me. And I think for a lot of people, unless you're doing video editing, you're having to do a whole bunch of color corrections, this generally is a good setup. But this pretty much is, if you're using an AMD graphics, like I said, graphics card, like I run an R9 380 Radeon in mine, then you're going to want to use these similar settings. This worked really well for when I was recording Mass Effect. It's worked really well for me recording The Witcher and any other little things like my Warcraft, World of Warcraft that I've played. It all seems to record really smooth, be really clean, really clear, which is important. Again, like I said, there's a zillion NVIDIA ones out there, and a lot of the ones that are AMD are outdated, and they're really not helpful, so to speak, because of, like I said, when you go to the outputs, we get a different thing right here than an NVIDIA card as an AMD. But at any rate, thank you guys very much for watching this, and if you like it, and this helps you out a lot, leave a comment below. If you have questions, leave a comment below. I'll be willing to help maybe hash some stuff out and sort some things out, because I've done a lot of tweaking and trying to figure out what worked really well for my rig and for my games. And that, again, that's what this is about. It's about recording games, sharing with everybody, and helping each other out. But, alright, again, this is Specs S7, and thank you guys for watching.
You're all booked for physicals. No excuses.
Are you sure? I have some good ones.
I'll make sure he goes, Lexi. Thank you, Cora. You're up first, by the way. Oh, shit. Hey, you.
See you later, Cora.
Stay safe.
Maybe Helios flora is more edible now, with Meridian active. I've seen reports of floral pear stems in labs that didn't have them before. This could be it.
If you do try them, make sure it's not before a long shift this time. Ryder.
What will the Angara do now? And the Resistance?
The fight goes on. We have to secure Kitasira and other territories. There are still questions.
The Jardan may be the only ones with the answers.
Not the answers we determine for ourselves.
Hell yeah.
What will the Angara do now? And the Resistance?
The fight goes on. We have to secure Kitasira and other territories. There are still questions.
The Jardan may be the only ones with the answers.
Not the answers we determine for ourselves.
Pathfinder, we're approaching a scavenger site. Detect multiple hostile life forms.
Isabel could be in trouble. Let's move.